Hello and welcome. You're watching the Friday edition of This is Exclusive with me, Shabin Sen. Tonight on This is Exclusive, we put the spotlight on our continuing campaign of saving Aravallis. Not only about 10 days of investigation that we have essentially done over the last 1 month itself, what we have essentially seen are the following. The fact that mining is actually legal, it is actually allowed, but in reality, it seems that rules are now being flouted. Our 10-day investigation has already proven the fact that rampant illegal mining is taking place. Tonight on This is Exclusive, we now travel to the other side of Rajasthan and we once again finding the same results of mining that is essentially taking place. That's our top focus tonight on This is Exclusive. But first, let me take you through the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Exclusive ground report from the mining site near Silwara village in Sihori district, which has uncovered serious violations of mining safety norms with active mining operations taking place less than 50 meters from residential homes. Details coming up after the headlines. Just days after Bangladesh student leader Hastat Abdullah openly threatened to shelter separatists targeting India's Seven Sisters, geopolitical storm brews around one of India's most sensitive fault lines, the Chicken's Neck. Two dead, several injured in blast near Karnataka's Mysuru Ambavale's palace. Sabotage angle not ruled out. Protest outside Delhi High Court against suspension of singer's jail term. Survivor's mother says hang the guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, for 10 days, multiple reporters spread across the state of Rajasthan, a state where you've seen the longest range of Aravallis. What we have found out from the 10-day investigation that has been done, that while mining is actually legal in some parts, the reality is that the mining bosses seem to have now flouted several such rules that have been put in place. NGT orders that have been flouted by those who are controlling those mine areas. Now, in fact, from what we had witnessed over the last few days, some of the areas, particularly in Alwar and a few other regions, we've seen rampant illegal mining actually taking place. We, in fact, decided to take this forward and go to some other areas unannounced, because what we witnessed over the last few days is that our team's arrival in the state of Rajasthan is actually known to many, resulting in an attempt that is being made to hide the truth. Unannounced, we actually moved from Gujarat and all the way inside Rajasthan, particularly in Udaipur. Finally, what we witnessed in a place called Silora, and that's where we once again witnessed illegal mining actually taking place. Now, what is illegal about the mining that has taken place in that area? There is a specified distance that is to be maintained from the mining area with that of the residential areas. It seems that has been constantly flouted because it seems no one is really bothered about whether at all that distance should actually be maintained or not. Some fertile areas where essentially mining is also taking place. In fact, let me now take you to the details of this story that we are putting out. Now, if at all this land is actually barren that we are talking about, why are crops essentially growing on it? And in fact, there is much more that is basically emerging from this particular investigation that has been carried out by my colleague Swarali.
The fight for the Aravallis has hit top gear. Republic's Save Aravalli campaign is rolling out in full force, on the ground and online, amplifying public voices and demanding accountability. As pressure mounts, the spotlight is firmly on saving this critical ecosystem. Save the Aravallis cannot just remain a slogan or a banner, while destruction continues unchecked on the ground. In the lush fields of Sirohi, where generations have toiled, a corporate giant now wants to dig. This is the story of resistance. An exclusive Republic's report from Rajasthan's Bharja village in Sirohi district, where thousands of villagers are against a rupees 1700 crore mining project. Villagers of 4 Gram Panchayats now stand firm and united.
ये समस्या 3 महीने से है और कम से कम 598 यानी 600 घर आवासीय घर जा रहे हैं जो बड़ी मेहनत के साथ में लोगों ने बनाए हैं और गरीब परिवार से निवास करने वाले वो भी लोग इस चिंता में हैं और यहाँ पे खेती बाड़ी की ज़मीन है वो यहाँ के भू राजस्व अधिकारी अर्थात पटवारी ने खेती बाड़ी को बंजर भूमि बताया है.
They grow fennel, castor, wheat, cotton. Banks even give loans on these fertile plots. Yet, the documents accessed by Republic show the land marked as futile. The legal trail is troubling. It all started in 2011. In 2011, Kamlesh Mehta Mining Company applied for a prospecting license. In 2015, the government brought in new mining guidelines, clearly stating that all prospecting licenses filed before 2015 would stand cancelled. But the story did not end there. In 2016, the mining company moved to the tribunal, challenging the guidelines. In 2018, the tribunal ruled in favour of the company, to which there was no opposition from the state government. No appeal filed, no stand taken.
कि जो कमलेश मेटा कास्ट प्राइवेट लिमिटेड का जो पीएल जारी हुआ है वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की जो गाइडलाइन है 2015 में आई है उससे पहले का फैसला है तो ये इस पर इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होगा. इसी को आधार मानते हुए ट्रिब्यूनल ने कंपनी के पक्ष में फैसला दिया. यहीं से सरकारों ने गलती करना शुरू कर दी. ट्रिब्यूनल के फैसले के विरुद्ध ना तो राज्य सरकार अपील में गई और ना ही कोई अन्य अपील हुई. वहाँ से इस कंपनी को फ़ायदा मिला और फिर इसने कोर्ट ऑफ कंटेम्प्ट लगा के सरकार से 2020 में तत्कालीन सरकार ने फिर इसका पीएल निरस्त किया. तो ये फिर हाई कोर्ट चले गए. डिवीज़न बेस और सिंगल बेस से इनके पक्ष में फैसले हुए. वहाँ से ये पूरी प्रोसीडिंग शुरू हुई.
The district administration says it is with the people. While villagers wait for action, the administration is still looking into it. Villagers say that they have been protesting for 3 months, but claim that the administration has remained silent.
जब गांव वालों को पिछले 3 महीने पहले पता चला,
सितंबर में पता चला बोल रहे हैं
18 अगस्त को गवर्नमेंट ने पंचायत के थ्रू कुछ परमिशन वगैरह मांगी होगी तो वहाँ पे भी एक पब्लिक में विज्ञापन था कि वहाँ पे 1 महीने पहले जन सुनवाई से पहले पब्लिक को पता होना चाहिए, लेकिन वो भी 1 महीने तक हमको अंधेरे में रखा. अब जब 19 सितंबर को भीमाना में जन सुनवाई होनी थी उससे 1 दिन पहले गाँव वालों को पता चलता है कि अब जन सुनवाई होने वाली है. रातों रात गाँव वाले एक होकर अपने अकॉर्डिंग व्यवस्था करके जब जन सुनवाई होती है वहाँ पे भी हमसे जो प्रतिक्रिया ली गई वहाँ पे भी 100% हमारी यही स्वीकृति थी.
विरोध किया गया था,
100% विरोध में था. एक जनों ने सबने वहाँ पे जो प्रतिक्रिया में यही दिया था कि हमको ये कंपनी चाहिए. उसके बावजूद भी अंधेरे में रख के सब कुछ यहाँ के लोकल नेता से लेके ऊपर तक इन्होंने पता नहीं क्या करा. पीठ पीछे उन्होंने कहाँ से साइन लिए क्या हुआ उसके बाद हमको पता चलता है कि कंपनी की अप्रूवल भी मिल चुकी है.
Reports say 600 houses will vanish, displacing over 1,500 people. Thousands of cattle have nowhere to go. Company promises just 100 jobs with automated machines. A cruel trade-off.
हमारा चलता है गुजारा जी. हमारे बारिश में होता है, सर्दी में होता है. अभी गेहूँ बोए सब फसल है हमारे, इससे तो बीज वगैरह होता है, इससे तो हमारा पेट भरता है. दूसरा क्या है हमारे को न बोलते का बंजर बताया कहाँ से
what they're trying to say is that where are all the public representatives who they have elected from the same region, from the same area? They're demanding that government should listen to their voices, and this land belongs to them. It's their native. That's where they farm. They have their living sources, and that's where they have their homes. Around 600 homes are to be demolished or gone in this project, and around 800 hectares of land will be given to the Kamlesh Mehta Mining Company if this project is executed. And all these local villagers are protesting, and they're claiming that on 28th of January a huge protest will be unfolded if actions are not taken in time.
Major escalation ahead. Highway Chakka Jam on January 28th, 2026. The battle intensifies.
Joining us on this broadcast is my colleague Swarali, who's got us this exclusive report. Swarali, you've spoken to the locals there. There is a company in question right now. I want to purely focus on the aspect of mining that's actually taking place. What is it that you witnessed, and what are the major takeaways of this investigation that has been done by you?
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you, we were in the Bharja village of Sirohi district, to be very specific, in the Pindwara tehsil of Rajasthan, and people across the 4 gram panchayats are leading this protest, and they don't want this company to have this project. If this project is executed, 800 hectares of land will be given, and this engulfs all 4 gram panchayats which are protesting right now. Hundreds of people have joined in. Actually, their only demand with the government is that steps should be taken in time, or else they will unfold a huge protest around 28th January, because if we talk about the sequence, they have already met CM. The delegation of the villagers had gone to CM and
Sorry to interrupt you, Swarali. In terms of the mining that's actually taking place, what was permitted, or was there no permission that was actually granted?
See, the case started actually around 2011, but several rules changed in 2014, 2015. Several amendments were done. That's why the license to be given was delayed. But around 2025, MOU was signed under the Rising Rajasthan, and we have the document saying, which was signed by the ADM of the Sirohi district, previous ADM, not the current one. And in that document, it is clearly mentioned that land allotment for the mining should be started because MOU is signed under the Rising Rajasthan, and documents are submitted to the district authorities. On the one hand, when we confronted the district authorities, they affirmed that we are with the people, local villagers. But on the other hand, MOU was signed by the government itself, and when the delegation went to meet CM at that time, it was not an effective response, to be very specific. So if this project gets executed, huge amount of material will be extracted and mined from the entire area, which has water bodies, which has farmlands, and on the other hand, it is declared as a barren land. We have shown you through the visuals, people have their farm patches wherein the agriculture is done. It's their source of livelihood, and all this will be gone, including 600 homes, school, playgrounds. So this is their major problem, that how can green fields full of, farms can be declared barren lands to be given to a company.
Thank you very much, Swarali, for getting us the latest details. Should we focus now to the other top story of This Is Exclusive? The Chicken's Neck, also known as the Siliguri Corridor. In fact, it is the only bridge between the northeastern states and the rest of the country. Many would argue that this is now turning out to be a geographical curse for us, and perhaps with the dragon's shadow on the Chicken's Neck itself, it is becoming a real threat. In fact, in an exclusive conversation with Republic TV, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that it is not only about militarizing Chicken's Neck, but the worry basically comes in from those who are in Chicken's Neck and the allegiance of the people living in Chicken's Neck. Many would say that this perhaps is yet another controversial statement that has been made by the Assam Chief Minister. But there is a geopolitical issue that is emerging from this very area, and more importantly, the changing dynamics coming in from Bangladesh. Take a look at this detailed report.
আপনারা যে যেহেতু তাদেরকে আশ্রয় প্রশ্রয় দিচ্ছেন, কথা স্পষ্ট করে বলে দিতে চাই, ভারতের যারা সেপারেটিস্ট আছে, বাংলাদেশে আমরা তাদেরকে আশ্রয় প্রশ্রয় দিয়ে যে সেভেন সিস্টার রয়েছে, সেটাকে বাংলাদেশ থেকে
India's strategic corridor, the chicken's neck, is under threat once again. The ouster of Sheikh Hasina last year shifted dynamics. Bangladesh's interim leader, Muhammad Yunus, turned to China with explosive words. In Beijing, Yunus declared India's northeast landlocked with no ocean access. He called Bangladesh the sole guardian of the ocean for the region. The chicken's neck, or the Siliguri corridor, is India's only land link to Northeast's seven sisters. Flanked by Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh, a blockage here severs the region from the mainland. All roads, rails and supplies pass through this fragile strip.
Eastern part of India, called Seven Sisters, they are landlocked country, landlocked region of India. They have no way to reach out to the ocean. We are the only guardian of the ocean for all this region. So this opens up a huge possibility. So this could be an extension of the Chinese economy. Build things, produce things, market things, bring things to Nepal, China, bring it out to the whole rest of the world. That's a production house for you. So that's the opportunity we should seize and we should implement, we should get it done.
In an exclusive conversation with Republic, this is what Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma had to say.
We have all along discussed the chicken neck.
Yes.
But have we ever discussed who are the people in the chicken neck? Everybody say chicken neck, 22 kilometer, 22 kilometer. But everybody who is there in the chicken neck and in the 10 kilometer vicinities of chicken neck in the Indian side, everybody have come from Bangladesh. So tomorrow, if government of Bangladesh says that let me take over the chicken neck, now the local people will say please come, because they themselves have come from Bangladesh. Maybe 10% still original Indian people are there, or 20% people are there. But if you go entire 22 kilometer by road, maybe you extend it to in Assam side another 10 kilometer, Bengal side another 10 kilometer, the entire 40 kilometers roads, both sides, there are people who have come from Bangladesh in the different years, regularized as Indian citizen, and they are sitting there. Now, their loyalty will be in which sides? Nobody knows.
India, meanwhile, is responding aggressively, fortifying defences, building alternative routes. Sarma demands robust rail and road networks to end vulnerability. One wrong move here and the Northeast stands isolated. As tensions rise, one truth remains. The chicken's neck is not just geography, it's India's security lifeline. And India will defend it at all costs.
While the Chief Minister of Assam may have had political compulsions for the statements that he has actually made in the interview that he had given to me, but having said that, how real is the threat? The reality is that it is many who say that this is a geographical curse because it is flanked on the one side by the Chinese, on the other side it is Bangladesh. Now with the current situation in Bangladesh, the threat is quite real. And the reality is this, that the Bangladeshis are now trying to revive a World War II era airbase. an airbase which is barely 13 kilometers away from the Siliguri corridor, which means if the Chinese, who are actually trying to help the Bangladeshis to revive the Lalmonirhat air base, then it's not very far away. And what really happens if it is essentially cut off? If at all the Chinese actually move in, what we saw, there were real estimates that came in post Galwan, and that becomes the biggest cause of concern, because on the one hand you have the Chinese, on the other side the Bangladeshis, and more importantly the radical elements that have actually gone amok. Now you take a look at these three military bases itself. Now one is in West Bengal, the other happens to be in Bihar, and the third in the state of Assam. The Chief Minister says that you need to have a close watch here. Now let me try and explain this to you. Now take a look at this. So you're essentially cutting off this entire part. All the northeastern states could actually have been cut off if at all this area is taken over. Now, how do you really come out of that situation? Is militarization the only option? In fact, there are 3 new garrisons that have come up. Indian Army has essentially fortified its eastern frontiers with one major garrison that has come up in Dhubri in the state of Assam. And of course, the other places in West Bengal and Bihar. But the threat is absolutely real, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps the discourse over Chicken's Neck should be, how exactly are we to protect Chicken's Neck or the Siliguri corridor? That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime.